Right, today we are coming from Hot Mess Central. Um, this is Thanksgiving Day. We're all done eating the food, um, loving on each other. Well, that's never ending, but you get the drift. So I came in here to show you what the behind the scenes of Whatnot Chaos is. This is after a show. A lot of work still needs to be done before tomorrow's our Black Friday sales. So if you're not checking out Whatnot, make sure you do that. You can increase your sales volume, get your cash flow up, and move a lot of product quickly. So our last couple of shows, I think we made about $5,000 this month and Whatnot. So make sure you're tracking Whatnot. If you're not, use our reseller link and you can get instant reseller access. And I think if you earn $150 in your first show, Whatnot will match you for that. So, and if you're a buyer on Whatnot, there's a link here. You can get $15 off your first purchase. So anyways, behind the scenes, I know, chaos, right? All right, onto the actual polling. So we started the video with a behind the scenes look at the Whatnot room. This is actually our shed. I just wanted to pause here and say I'm thankful for a lot of things this year. One being my family, first and foremost. Can't say enough about this love and support of my wife. We have a 17-year-old who's going to be running off to college next year. So that's different for us. For those who have been in or lived that life, any suggestions or ways I'm dealing with that, just feel free to drop them in the comments. We appreciate and love and we are thankful for everybody who's purchased from us this year. We are thankful for the views, likes, and subscribes for our channel as well. So thank you. Can't say thank you enough. Anyways, on to the what sold. One day of sales, $758.78. And I'm assuming that is going to grow before we actually stop shipping, usually around 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So we'll actually get more than that. But right now we have $168 of that money was actually offer sent by Nifty. If you're not familiar with Nifty, I'll put the link here. You can check it out. You get $15 off your first month by using code Rocket City. I believe in the product that much that it can help grow your business exponentially. It's tripled our business. So I highly recommend using some sort of cross-listing platform. Get your items in front of more eyes. And if you're also not using global shipping as an option for not only eBay, but Etsy, I highly recommend getting into international shipping. I know it could be a little disconcerting when you first start. So if you have questions about international shipping or shipping in general, you like those type of videos, let me know in the comments and we'll try to get some of that covered as well. Onto the first plush, Dora the Explorer, eBay, 1736, sold by Nifty, promoted listing, or sorry, offered listing. Gotta be careful with that. 1736, sold in 5 months on eBay. Back and pull that door up. Why I say you have to be careful about the promoted saying that. Right now there's a change coming to eBay. I think it's January 13th it goes into effect, where they're going to be starting to, regardless of where the person clicks or during their journey. Here's Dora. During their journey, basically, let's say Sally says, okay, I like it's an under promoted listing. You're promoting 2%, whatever it is. Sally clicks this young lady, but she decides not to buy it. Okay, Sally goes away 30 days from now. Jimmy wants to do this, and he does it through an organic listing, right? So now Jimmy purchased this. You still pay promoted listing fees because of Sally, and even after 30 days. So, and I've heard even after you delist and relist it, it still applies. I'm not sure if that part's true. It remains to be seen, but I don't mind paying eBay to promote my listing to make sure it comes to the top of the pile. What I'm not okay with is organic sales that come through the channel, eBay getting a piece of that when they don't deserve it. That's unethical, in my opinion, and a lot of resellers' opinions. Say what you want to say in the comments. Believe what you want to believe. The proof is in the pudding. The pie is getting smaller for resellers. A lot of resellers will stop promoting altogether. It'll hurt their business, and they'll go by the wayside. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to win this one with eBay. So we'll see. There's so many more sellers than there are buyers, and maybe this is a way for eBay to kind of get rid of some sellers. I don't know. Leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Okay, we are back, and figured why not more shame, right? Because this is the real. This is what the resellers don't show you. Our hot mess of a shed that we share with our lawn equipment, and this is getting attacked once it warms up. It's so freezing out here, I can't even feel my hands anymore. But this is the realness. You have to work with the space you have, choices along the way, choose to make $1,000 a day or clean your shed. Those kind of choices. But here we are. This dinosaur sold. If I was a bet, man, I'd say this was someone's childhood toy. This thing's vintage for sure. Let's see here. It is a vintage 1996 Flop-A-Lots dinosaur. And it's from the Natural Wonders line. Sold on Etsy. Took about 6+ months. Unfortunately, I don't have all the data because we switched from Vendu to Nifty in May. Sold for $18. So took a little bit to sell. And yeah, if I had to take a while, I guess this was someone's jam back in the day. And personally, I love these kind of things. So we pick them up all the time. Yeah. So the real choice, right? Choice and opportunity. On to the next one. Okay, so all that to say, be intentional with your time. And we're back. This anime plush, Puchido plush. I don't know. I Google searched it. I didn't know what it was when I first picked it up. I figured it was anime. Figured there was somebody out there that likes this kind of thing. And yeah, it sold in 24 days. So I guess we were right. Didn't sell for very much, $13.49. And I'm not sure how you ended up on Etsy, but you sold. So there it is. Sometimes when we're cross-listing, we're going so fast, we're not careful. So you got to be careful with that because it's only vintage. So that one was an accident, but it did sell. Didn't get a strike on the account, and it sold in 24 days for $13.49 and sold on Etsy. On to the next. Okay, we're moving out of this shed. Yeah, so I like to try to keep things real. If you like that type of video, this is the place for you because I think sometimes content creators, I don't consider myself one of those. I consider myself more of a partner in crime. I want you to be as successful as us and help you learn along the way. Maybe not make as many mistakes as we did. And that's the intention of this channel. But sometimes they can gloss things over. And yeah, I think it's important to get down to the real meat and potatoes of what this actually takes and what it looks like from behind the scenes, because I think that's important. Probably more valuable than that polished look that you're seeing on all the other videos, in my opinion. But I'd love to hear back some feedback. If you disagree, onto the garage, and thank God because it's freezing out here in the shed. So we're going to go ahead and get that done. All right, here we are in the garage. It's not exactly as warm as I would hope. We're originally from Connecticut, but we've been in Alabama for over 10 years. So I think I've earned my southern y'all for sure, because y'all, it's cold. Why plush? Why did we start selling plush? Great question. So the reason why, for a lot of reasons, they don't care it's cold. So they store well, right? They ship well because seldom do they break. Although we've had some pretty close encounters with processing machines. So just know that that's an option or problem can be. But very rarely do we ever have concerns like that. So I just had one package this year out of thousands that we've sent come back in a state that wasn't the best that got returned to us. But other than that, they ship well. They're lightweight. So shipping's not terrible. They spark nostalgia for people. So there's an emotional connection. And when you're a good salesman, you don't sell a product, you sell an emotion. So I could have chose to sell anything and probably been successful at it because of that thinking. But I chose to sell this because there are a few different reasons. One, my wife had a childhood that we could all um, hopefully obtain when we were younger. That she was, I'm trying not to say she was spoiled because that's not true. Um, but she had a very privileged childhood and she was loved and she was cared for and she was connected to a lot of different things. So she has a lot of experience with that. And with that knowledge base came this natural progression into Plush. So she had a lot of stuff 80s and 90s when she was a kid. Anyways, that's for why we sell Plush. I love hearing back from people that found their childhood plush or we helped heal their inner child. Those types of stories. We get that all the time. And I'll try to put a few of these in the comments so you can see exactly those messages we get back. So, and I'll try to put a few here. And we're looking for, well, there's a 4 or 5 that are not necessary. We're going to skip, and then we'll go to these, and we'll be right back. On this episode of my life choices, the garage is always a battle for ground. All these Fisher Price loving families. We are probably going to, I know it's going to break someone's heart, but well, hey, if you want to buy one, hit me up in the messages. But we're going to probably cannibalize all these for parts and piecemeal sell them all. It's just, we don't have the time nor the patience to put them on Facebook Marketplace. It takes too long. They're too crazy out there for us. But 173 is what we're after. And it was a vintage 1994 Toys R Us Christmas bear. We've already pulled that one. My wife has it inside. So we're on to 182. That was yesterday. We discovered that it was listed twice. So be sure to check and double check your inventory. I've said it in multiple videos, but canceled one order on Etsy. Didn't realize it was still listed. Sold again and discovered it was in a different location. Explain it. I can't explain it. Maybe during our Vendu to Nifty transfer is probably most plausible. Paw Patrol is what we're looking for next. This one's the Everest bundle 181. And 181 is right here. We'll get that pulled in. Be right back. Okay, so here is Everest and Sky. We bundled them together. I have about 1 million more to do that too. No lie. There's a ton. We just haven't got to it yet. Everest and Sky sold for $17 and it took 6+ months. See, the thing about Plush is it takes a while. They call it long tail. Does it sell for a whole heck of a lot? No, but if you have the storage like we do, it's a good business model. Because there was like 15 6+ month items on this $1,000 day. If you can sell 15 that sat for 6 months at $1,000 a day, would you take that? Is it worth the time, the storage, and the man hours for that business model for you? A lot of people are going to say no. I want to sell $1,000 items every day. Well, who doesn't, right? But the real, how you get there and how you move the needle for your family and be successful, and you have storage, do this. Get a bunch of stuff that's lightweight, hard to break, sells for $15 to $20, and sell a shit ton of it fast or as fast as you can. And if you can't, bring it to Whatnot, and you paid a nickel for this, get $3 and keep it moving. There's so many ways to slice this thing. So anyways, that's my soapbox talk for today, or my TED Talk, whatever you want to call it. On to the next. Can I do this with one hand? Probably not. So we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to pull it. Okay, we're looking for 219, Cole's Cares Brown Bear. What does it say? What do you see, stuffed animal? Eric Carl. So it's right here. Let's see if I can do this without breaking everything. Break the world. This is where the tote slides off and I get 1,000 views. No, guess not. Not today. Here it is. Eric Carlisle. Tag was cut. Buyer didn't care. And let's see how much this guy sold for. Cole's Cares sold for $13.85. Took 3 months to sell. And it sold by offer on Nifty. And sold within 3 months, I said. And sold on eBay. On the next one. Hey, I got it in. Woo! Okay, so I figured I'd do this in real time so that you can see what the struggle's like when you have similar items. Super Mario plush set sold, which is great. Sold for $50. Um, so great sale. Took about a month. Sold on Poshmark. But the problem with this particular thing is there's so much Mario, so many bundles. So we might have to go to Nifty app to be able to figure out which one it was. So let's do that. Nifty app. If we can tell. So many things sold. So grateful. Happy Thanksgiving again, guys. Appreciate you watching this video. Hopefully your Thanksgiving was great. This will likely come out after the fact. Let's see here. Yeah, this was a good one. So I had peach. That's a good indicator. They don't all have peach, so that'll help us. Ooh, look at that ET down there. There it is. No thanks. Nope, here it is. Like I said, there's a lot of Mario, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is quite literally nothing. We have so much. Very blessed to live in the area that we live in. And there's a lot of young families. It's a military town. A lot of young families coming through here, getting transferred, a lot. So there's a lot of downsizing, especially during the Christmas time. People tend to purge some of the toys to make room for new stuff. So as crazy as it sounds, perfect time to source. And when you look at all this, you're like, do you need another thing? No, but when you're getting stuff for like 25 cents to $1, I mean, how do you not, stock up when you can, right? And if you're having trouble sourcing and you need to have inventory, be sure to check us out on Whatnot. I'll be doing a reseller restock tomorrow, Black Friday. Obviously, this video will probably come out after that, but I oftentimes do at least once a month a reseller restock where you can get on Whatnot. So check me out, Rocket City Reseller on Whatnot. Grab some inventory and flip it for a profit. Happy to share. We get it at such a low cost. So, all right, on to the next. $258. That's a Chuck E. Cheese bundle that sold for. Let's see. Chuck E. Cheese sold for. Where are we? $258. Chuck E. Cheese bundle sold for $113 by offer on Poshmark and sold in 3 months. Someone didn't want to have to play the games and get the tickets, I guess. So we'll go ahead and pull that. Someone in the comments said that they cannot give away plush. Never mind, sell it. I would say, what have you tried, right? Here it is. $113 for this. All 4 characters in here. That's a lot of pizza. Someone played a lot of game. So, what have you tried? What are your pictures like? Are you cross-listing? I have so many questions for that person. So, love to hear about what you've done along the way, because that kind of leads to a few different ideas that I have. One is a cross-listing that'll get more eyes. 2, like I mentioned earlier, open yourself up to global shipping if it's available to you. If you have to unlock it, you don't get it right away. Usually you have to have a couple of sales in your belt before they'll give that to you. Offer sales, offer coupons, get an eBay store as soon as possible. Once we did that, we doubled our sales. So can't say enough about that. If you're below the 250 listings and you don't need a store, get one anyway. Personal opinion. And that's some of the few things you can do. There are obviously more things than that. I use generative AI now, ChatGPT, to create SEO, which is search engine optimization keywords, because remember, eBay is best match. So using terms that are going to make keyword searching easier will definitely help you get more eyes on your product as well. We do promote. Some people don't believe in dynamic promotion because it takes too much out of the meat of your profit. But we buy so low that I'm okay with it being of a certain number. Even about I'm at 50%, $50 for a sale. You know, how greedy do you want to be? Do you want to be just as bad as the corporations? In my opinion, no. Because I made $50. Sold this guy for, or paid $50 and probably paid $5. So of that, how much did I get to eBay? You know, we're back because I'm long-winded. Sorry, I just have a lot of feelings about this one. So it just depends on how you look at things. Perspective is everything. So just keep that in mind when you're outsourcing. Okay, so this is the part of the video where we move inside. So I just want to thank you again for liking and subscribing and viewership. So can't say enough about that. So that fits into the Thanksgiving theme. So thank you. We did a lot of work out here. It looks a lot better. I know you can't tell. So be sure to give yourself some grace as you're moving through the reselling journey, because if not, you're going to burn out. Okay. So burnout's a thing for all avenues of work. Reselling is no different. So just be kind to yourself and to remember that. And whenever I say that and I look at this hot mess right here, I want to not be so nice to myself. So anyways, we're going to move inside and continue on. Okay, so I'm back. Mistakes were made. I forgot. We rearranged all this. 274 is out here, y'all. Yeah, fourth quarter. Woo! All right, 274. Let's go. Vintage TY Classic Bear PJ sold for $31 in 6+ months. Sold on Etsy, and these TYs sell quite frequently. So let's go ahead and get that pulled. We have multiples of this one, so this one is 274, which is right there. Be right back. Okay, so we're continuing to get sales and messages on eBay, which is tradition when we pull. We're all friends here. We all know. This particular buyer actually reached out a few minutes ago to let me know to not send this until Monday. Today is Thursday. Luckily, that is within the shipping timelines, and Monday is a shipping day for us, so it's not a hard request to do, but just be mindful of your customer service. All to say that. And this one sold for $31. Gladly hold on to it until Monday for the buyer. He's off to his new home on Monday. All right. Things are still continuing to sell. I think people are done with their turkey and now they're in shopping mode early. So, yeah, that's the thing. I will not be going out for Black Friday. So personally, if I do, it won't be for anything of significance, maybe to the post office to drop some of this stuff off. But other than that, this Pokio, I think that's a Pocoyo Bandai cartoon character plush, sold in 6+ months. Not a lot. $10.71. There's different sizes for this. Sold on Depop. I'm going to pull it so that way you can see. Maybe. Yeah. So there's a very large one of him. He's got a plastic face, by the way. How great. Different size ones. We've sold them as big as this for like $50. So just do your research when you're picking this guy up. What's in the next one when you want to be on the lookout for this Disney Parks Topsy-Turvy doll. Basically, you get two princesses in one. You flip it over. Ariel's right there. So they have different princess versions for this. There's a Frozen one that we sold before. But yeah, this guy sold for $18.73, and she sold in eBay for it's like 6+ months. Like I said, we pick these up all the time, and they sell through all the time. Sometimes it can take some time down, but probably $30 at the park, but not at the Rocket City Toy Store. Okay, so a lot has changed since the last time we filmed. We rearranged some stuff, made some room in the podcast room, got rid of this chair in there, put it in here. This sunroom was meant to be a reading room when we first moved in. We were foster parents for 2 years and lived that life. We're still licensed foster parents, although it is in, hiatus of our own choosing. Our son is off to college. His senior year, we want to kind of put a pause on that and kind of focus and lock in on his needs because he's an important part of his life right now. So you'll see us sell through a lot of this coming year to help with facilitating that tuition. But all to say, I just wanted to show you this holdover flow room. This is all Disney that is going to be needing to be listed. Said it multiple times. That's our laundry room. So everything gets washed, cleaned, and sanitized, regardless of where you're buying it from. We don't sell dirty plush. We package everything nicely and ship it off quickly, which is why we're so successful, I think. Okay, let's talk about the bear in the room. How much does a polar bear weigh? Enough to break the ice. You're welcome for that one. So yeah, that isn't great. So let's go ahead and 311. What do we got here? We're looking for a promo plush, and yeah, just go ahead and pull that. Okay, here's that promo plush as mentioned. And let's see if we can figure out what this was from. This is 311, and 311 was a promotional Protonics. So Protonics plush. And this one sold for $15.30 by Nifty offer and sold in 3 months. So I've said this before in other videos, but promotional plush does sell for us. If it's not selling for you, I'm not sure what to say. Just keep trying. Look at this gummy bear. His nose has a little wear, but isn't he great? Oh, I know. Sidebar, right? Okay, so on to the next. Okay, the real. Now try to get to 314, which is the bottom tote. Remember that game with the cars where you have to try to move with the cars to get out of the parking lot? Here we go. I'll fast forward this, and so you guys don't have to suffer. But okay, we're back, and Yuletide cow is what we're looking for. My wife would be in here. Lamb and cow. And this one sold for $25 and sold in 24 days and sold on Macari. I want to say that was an offer too. On to the next one. Okay, this next one's in 327. I've already started moving stuff, but I have a question for you guys. Moving this stuff probably seems pretty crazy, but would you do this to make $1,000 a day and work for yourself with enough freedom to be able to bring your kids to a baseball game, not beg for time off when you need it when they're sick? You get the drift. So what is that worth to you? Is it worth moving some stuff around? In our opinion, it is. This one is a Chuck E. Cheese Helen that sold for $20 on Macari. And apparently there are 2 things in here we need. But we're going to see if we get Ben & Jerry's out of there too. So let's see what we got. Okay, there's Jasper. Good old Jasper. Here's the Ben & Jerry's cow. We got them. Now we're looking for Helen. Here she is. $20 for Helen. She's huge. I took an offer. Matter of fact, I think that offer was, yeah, that wasn't Nifty. That was me taking that offer. And let's go to our trusty paper here. So Chuck E. Cheese selling $20 in less than a month. Sold the Macari. And then this Ben & Jerry cow. And this sold for $20 as well. Sold in 15 days. And sold on Etsy. This one's vintage. So Mary Meyer. Good collab, Mary Meyer and Ben & Jerry. Definitely. Okay, this next one's 328, and we're looking for Yo Gabba Gabba. This is our Yo Gabba Gabba plush. This one sold on Etsy for $39. Sold in 18 days. Didn't take very long at all. Anything Yo Gabba Gabba usually goes pretty quick. So Yo Gabba Gabba. Yo, dollar, dollar. On to the next. Really quickly before we go, I know I said round to the next, but this particular Target dog, oh, it's not in here, but if you see one with a leather jacket, pick it up, do your research. It can go for like 80 to 90. This one gets up there too, the construction worker, but there's different ones. My wife had a serious collection. She worked at Target for 17 years. So can you imagine the collection she had? And we gave it away long before we started doing this. But I can't even imagine the rare ones she had over that time period. So I don't want to think about that, but just wanted to say on to the next. Okay, some items that sold were Hallmark Magnetic Kiss Rodney and Rhonda the Reindeer, sold in 1 month for $25 on Etsy. They are here. They're magnetic and they kiss. We didn't realize that, but we had them listed separately and then figured it out later. So here come the dogs. 1984 Hallmark Rhonda the Reindeer Girl. She's right here. She sold for... Oh, it's okay, honey. There's Lola. Hey, baby girl. Hi. She sold for $25 on Etsy. Took about a month to sell. And this vintage Hallmark Bunny sold for $9.40 by a promoted listing on by a nifty offer rather, and sold for 6+ months on eBay for $9.40. Not a lot of money. Probably hit a nickel for him. And this Snoopy sold on Etsy. It is vintage dandy from the 90s. And let's see, Snoopy sold for $23 on Etsy in 4 months. So just wanted to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving again. Just put up a tree. This is some of the personal plush that we have that needs to be organized, but these are our personal collections. So, and just want to remind you guys, if you can't be good at it. We'll catch you on the next video.